ready to give the job. So that's what is a challenging thing. So now we will start with that concept. So what we have to understand first is very simple. See, we have SAP one side. 1 second, I'll just share my screen and I'll start.
Recording in progress.
Balraj, can you make me host? Sharing option, screen sharing option. You there? Yeah, thank you. See, what we have to understand, please, what is my important thing is why I'm giving much important to this initial class is here. So you have to clearly set your mind what you're going to do. Then the rest of the things is going to be very easy. Like when you have a clarity of like what you're going to get here and what you have to do here and what is the way you are going to do. So then all the things are going to be easy. But if you miss these concepts clarity in your mind, then the challenge is you have to face the thing. You have to get confused or else you have to get a clarity what you are going to do. So something like, okay, when you have an idea of like what you're going to do when you go to your office, then it's easy. But if you directly go and sit in an office and you don't know what you're doing, then it's going to be difficult, just like that. So what I was trying to tell before this is simple. One side, we have SAP. We are trying to learn SAP. Why you are learning SAP? Because companies require the person who knows SAP to do the finance process. So the companies wants a person who has an idea how to do the finance process in SAP. That's it. Other side, you already know the finance process. That means finance, accounting, whatever we call F&A, that you know already. That means you already from the college days, you learned it. And you have to understand here how you can apply these finance skills in SAP. That is the entire thing which you are going to learn in this course. So in that we have consulting, end user, that this and all that we discuss later. Okay, but I'm telling you that then the higher level view means I can sky view. I'm telling. That means one side you know the process and you're going to understand how to apply that process in SAP. Suppose if you don't know how to message, that means what is message if you don't know? So WhatsApp is useless to you. Am I right? Are you getting my point? If you do not know
Yes,
what is SMS, what is message or something, SMS or WhatsApp is useless to you. Right? Just like that, when you don't know the finance process and trying to learn how to do that finance process in SAP, it's completely useless. I hope you got the point.
yes, sir.
Ravi, don't you think?
Yes, sir. We got it.
Santosh?
Yes, sir. Hello. Hello.
Yes. Yes. Okay. So don't you think that when you don't know the message, like when you don't know the process, and trying to understand how to do that process in SAP, it's completely useless. Very simple. Basics. So everybody agree with that?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
You have to strongly agree. If you have any arguments or if you have something like not agreeing, also you are feel free to discuss. It's a professional course. It is not something like, okay, I say something and you should accept. It's not like that. Okay. You have to get the clarity of it. Who is missing here? Ravi. Yeah. Yeah. So that means, so before we understand how to do that process in SAP, so finance process, that is the thing. So within process, we have different jobs and different types and different challenges. That is secondary. But let us try to understand how this process, finance process works. Because you may be already expert, like Ravi or somebody may not be in touch with from long time. And having basic idea of accounting is very much crucial and very much important in SAP finance. When you're trying to understand SAP finance, you must have the clarity of a basic accounting skills. See, I already give one example. I believe some of them know here. Like when you don't have the clarity about what is P&L account, what is balance sheet? Yes, I know, we prepared and we got marks in college. And maybe now you are doing in ERPs. Maybe Ravi Kumar is already doing in Tally. Yes, Ravi, Tally, you are doing in Tally, right? And also you're now in NetSuite, you are doing, right?
Okay. Yes. Correct.
Yes, you are
In
doing.
Italian institute.
Yeah.
Yes. But not in very detailed, in a rough, as of now.
It's like detailed, okay. And in college days, we have done already. Everyone, like everyone is from commerce background here, right? In college days, we have done this. So the thing is, you think that when many people think that, or else they have the perception saying that when you're understanding SAP, we require something technical, something we should be very strong in all the things, process finance, or maybe in the technical development. A lot of things, assumptions, or else some perception is there. Okay, but it is not the reality actually. The reality is, if you want to be expert and if you want to understand SAP easily, and if you want to be if you want to get a clear idea about SAP, of SAP finance process, that is how it works and all. You should have a basic accounting skills strongly. Basic. I don't want any like expert level, CA level accounting or something. We want only a clear idea about SAP. Then the entire journey, what you are going to do with this course is going to be very easy and easily you can understand. Easily you can understand SAP. That is the key. I said, if you remember, I believe to you or like, because I used to tell the examples. See, when I'm taking interviews or else maybe for experience, maybe for some, when I'm talking to some consultant, some candidates or something, some people say, I know everything, but I want to know SAP, that, this and all. Or something, this one, somebody already experienced, they come to for interviews and other things and all. So, do you know what I ask actually for the experienced persons? We have some key questions, key areas of accounting. We ask that accounting key areas and the logic behind it, and also the key simple points about SAP with related to finance. When the person can explain those things clarity with the logic, then he is expert. Automatically, he can be expert because we know that when you can understand this simple process, then he must have a clarity about SAP also. That is the identity which we do in the interviews when you are selecting another thing, candidates or something. So why I'm telling this one? So not telling about all about SAP like that I know this process like this works like this. Maybe this T codes, that these programs, that this and all when you talk anything, but you should have a clarity what you're doing. The clarity is simple. You should know the process and you should know how to apply that process in SAP. So what we are planning today, is we are learning first the basic finance process, not SAP. I'm not touching SAP. I'm telling you the finance process. Yes, you might be already expert, but I appreciate that. But let us clarify it whether we are very clear with that. That's it. Or else you might not be having any touch with from long time, like Monica. Let us clarify, because when you are working in companies, you think that you are doing accounts payable, you are doing R2R, you are doing O2C, or else you say that you are accounting, because now everything is done by system only. We just do some process. That's it. They tell you to do these things, and we do that. Other things are going to be controlled by system. That we don't actually develop our knowledge in companies. But in SAP, being a consultant, you must have the clarity, because we are the designers. We are the creators most of the time of the process in companies. So that's the base. So today we will understand this accounting concepts, a basic accounting concept. I don't want any expert level, or else I don't want you to prove yourself that you know everything or something. That means I'm not expecting that, but I want a clarification. You have the clarity in your mind that what is actually a basic idea of like what is actually P&L and why we create it, and what is balance sheet, and what is this GL ledger, or maybe depreciation when it comes to this one, or take that further to step this debit and credit. Overall view, we know, like say for example, if you ask anybody to sing national anthem, Janagana Mana, if you ask anyone to sing Janagana Mana in a group, everybody sings. But you try alone. You don't sing actually fully. You miss somewhere else. That means when I'm asking in group, somebody says okay, somebody says like this one, but they're not very confident. But here I want you everybody to be very clear. That is what the first basic thing which I require from your side. When you have this clarity, then you get most of the things is very easy. Remember, very easy. Entire career for entire SAP career, it's going to be, this is the important session. You have to be fully understood what the way you have to. You already know the things, that clarity in your mind. Suppose you just tell me a simple thing I tell you. Can you tell me the difference between expenses? Just and simple. Let us start with this. Okay. So don't shy yourself that you know or something, you don't know something. If you don't know, you ask me. I'll try to clarify it. Or else you'll get supporting videos, maybe whichever is required. Or else clarify here itself, the clarity in your mind. But if you keep quiet here, in future, you struggle. Then entire things is going to be failed to you. Say, for example, just tell me, let us have a discussion. What's the difference between expenses and assets? Or else investment? Investment means, I'm talking in other words, assets. What's the difference? Tell me. Both are spending. If you want to buy some asset, maybe you're buying some car, you're buying some building, some doing something, that's also spending. Expenses also spending. What's the difference between these two? Can you tell me? Everyone, you have to participate, your views. I'm trying to make you understand. You have to give your, that means your try to your like involvement in understanding it. Okay. Yeah. Please go ahead. Yes, Ravi.
Expense is a spending amount for generating the income.
Hmm.
This is
Asset.
what understanding.
Assets.
Assets also is an expenses, but that will be not done in the particular month. It will be a over period of particular year or particular like that. For example, means
Why?
that.
Why? What's why? Why overall? Like like multiple years or something, whatever periods or something.
Yeah, it will come as it will come as like there are two investments, like there are two types of assets will be like one will be like as everyone's telling fixed asset and will be a like
Leave it. Leave that current assets fixed assets concept.
okay.
It's like let's take only assets.
Okay,
So
only assets means yeah, this is a revenue for the company. Yeah.
which one?
Uh, like I want to say means revenue generation normally.
Hmm.
Revenue generation will be an asset,
Hmm.
and other in what money will come from the investment or something like what amount will come to the company that will become as asset.
So that means what you're trying to tell. So expenses which we use it for revenue generation,
Yes.
assets are
Assets are like after like that's what I said, like after the revenue generation, after everything, after the deduction of the expenses, whatever will become like whatever will be there, the left amount that will become as asset, means company asset.
okay. What about others? Yes, I agree with you. Yes, others. Deepa, Arshita, Monica, Ravikumar, sorry, Santosh.
Yes, sir. Expense are those which are generating the revenue in the company, or the asset is also the income, but these are provided the benefits in future also. We can say the example. Let's suppose we can take the land and buildings.
Hmm.
So land and buildings uh, uh, land and buildings will also to generate the income in future also. For example, cash in bank, when we have to purchase anything and we have to you know uh, to to pay any kind of money to our vendor and supplier for
Hmm.
generating the income, so we can transfer the money from bank to
Hmm.
themselves.
That's good. Okay, I agree. What about Deepa?
If we purchase the asset in a short term, it will comes under the expenses. If it is a long term, it will comes under the asset, like land and building, any machineries.
Why you want to be long term and short term? Why you want to use that
In
concept?
the sense, is there any rent or wages?
Hmm.
Those things will comes under the expenses. The expense to the company. We are not buying anything.
Means, can you please a little bit brief?
Like expenses in the sense like stamp and stationery. So these and all will comes under the expense. It's not a big amount, and also it's not a
A calculator also it's an asset. It's not a big amount, 100 rupees, 150 rupees. Why do you want to treat that as an asset? Calculator in a company.
yes.
They treat you as an asset. Then if you are thinking from the angle of amount, okay, a pen is an asset. 10 rupees pen. In companies, a spoon is an asset. In some companies, they maintain spoons in canteen. How many spoons are there? That's not more than 10 rupees, 20 rupees. Then how can I agree with your statement if you are thinking from that angle?
It's
Yes?
a small amount of asset, no sir. It's not a big amount.
Yes, but I treat that as an asset, small amount. If you are thinking only plant and machinery or vehicles or the buildings are assets, so small things are not asset, then how come a spoon or a calculator will become an asset? It should not be an asset, right? But in some companies, we maintain that as an asset. How many calculators are there?
Yeah.
which departments are using, that everything should be tracked. And how? Yes, that clarity now. That I accept your other points, but I'm raising this point. Yes, that's great, but I'll come back to you. Okay, Arshita.
Yes, sir.
Yes, please. What's your view?
Sir, an expense is a money spent or required to be spent to pay for a service or an item.
Okay, so even we get the consulting services for we pay expenses. Okay, right?
Yes, sir.
But we do some investments in other shares. That's also a service. It's as we treat that as an asset, or else sometimes we do the goodwill. Goodwill is also an invisible asset service if you are thinking about this one. Yes, I agree with things, but you have to prove your statement. So always remember, as a consultant, when you're talking, when I'm telling to a consultant, you will come to know the why SAP consulting and SAP training is in demand, and why SAP consulting or SAP field is demand some quality things or other things and all. You'll come to know in future class. But all these things, why I'm making you prepare now. But when you're talking any statement, you should be able to prove it, because we speak in front of client with the top people. We cannot say something, we say something and then we cannot keep quiet. Okay, how to tell that? When you're talking itself, you should have very clarity in your mind. Okay, yes, but you start that quality, you just develop that quality. Everyone, I'm telling, develop that quality now onwards. When you're talking, when you're telling something, you should be able to prove it. Yes, how did I say that? Is something, just assume, just like me, I'm telling something. I tell one statement and I say, yes, sir. Why, sir, you were telling like that? Why, how? Hey, it works like that. Don't worry, just keep it. Okay. Don't know why. If I say like that, you don't, you don't get that confidence on me, my words, when I don't prove my statement. So that's the way, let us start this. You talk freely, whatever you want, but try to give some statement with your proof. That is the quality try to develop. Okay, just try from now onwards. Yes, Arshita, I agree with that. But as I mentioned, expenses are some services and something we consulting or something we get. What about assets, Arshita?
Yes, sir.
What about assets?
Sir, we can tell capital investment. Assets are
What is capital?
which we can generate the revenue more than for more than 1 year.
More than 1 year means?
Sir, for example, if you consider a building,
Hmm.
rent is an expenses.
Okay.
If you have that building, that is an asset for the company.
Yes, building is asset, rent is expenses. Yes, but I don't know anything about building and rent. You prove me, you tell me, you teach me how that works, why that is treated as expenses and why that is treated as asset. Yes, the example is okay, but you prove me that I don't know. Just think me, I don't know anything. You prove me why we call this building as an asset and why we call this expenses rent as an expenses. Hmm? Your answers is correct, but I don't know about it. You have to tell me why did we decided like that? Okay, I'll come back to you. What about Santosh? Santosh, you there?
Hello.
Yes. What's your view, Santosh?
Yeah.
Yes.
Expenses means already consumed of during the operation activities of business.
Hmm. Okay. Already consumed. Okay.
Yeah. Asset means benefits in future event, but like in business.
Future events.
Yeah.
Can you please
These are
elaborate?
benefits of business. Like purchase the asset,
Hmm.
purchase the asset after you converted the profit or income.
Sorry, I didn't
Purchase,
get. Uh,
purchase the machinery, you production the material, then you it will then earn the income. But expenses, if whatever production activities you utilize the raw material, this is expenses.
yes, examples is okay. I want that. Why do you treat like that? Example, I agree, but I want that why. Why do you treat asset and why do you treat something as an asset? Why do you treat something as an expenses? Because we are spending money on both, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then why do you treat? Why do you want to like one part we treat it as an asset, one part we treat it as an expenses? Why?
Sir, shall I give my view over here?
Yes, please, Micah.
Sir, rent is yes. She's okay that rent is expense, but which is generating the income on a recurring type, right? So recurring on a monthly basis, and building is not generating the revenue on the recurring base. And for example, if you say that the calculator and pen is also asset, but we are not calculating in asset, right? Because the value of these assets are very low, so that is why we are not considering.
That's what like I consider I said this answer to Deepa. So in some companies, when we do the projects and supports and other things and all, right? So even calculators are treated as assets, which is not costing more than 150 rupees.
Yes.
Then that's very low. Even it's lower than fan. Right? Like how that's the clarity you have to get everyone. See, your views is exactly the I accept with all the views. I really appreciate that. What Santosh said, what Ravi Kumar said, what Deepa, Monica, everybody said in your view. Yes, exactly. But everybody is giving example, but you are failing somewhere to little bit to prove yourself why. Because when you understand that why should I treat this as an asset? Why should I treat this as an expense? Yes, to run the business, we require asset. Yes, to run the business, we should spend to do the production, as Santosh said. And everything is right. Like Arshita said, rent. Yes, you said something like small amount of. You are trying to prove. That means you are trying to tell that this is we do like this. But the concept is you have to understand little bit clarity. Because see, why I'm telling this one. Accounting is not made with a concept and rules. Actually, it's made with some logic. Okay. So we are going to apply these logics in SAP. When you don't have the logic behind it, mechanically you can apply. You have to do this, you have to do this, you have to do this. Yes. But when you're discussing with a client, when you're discussing as a thing, it's like if you're discussing with a doctor and a doctor is not understanding what's your problem, then what's the use of discussing with the doctor if he does not know about your issue, what you're facing? The same way, the consultants. I tell you why. See, why did I ask this simple question? I tell you, we know from the college days what is this, and everything. But we didn't get any questions over there. Why should I treat some expense, sometimes something which I'm spending as expenses, something as assets? So that's what let us try to clarify. Please, how to get a clarity about this. Let this class go for 1 or 2 classes, not a problem. But when you have this clarity, the entire course is going to be easy and your entire journey with SAP finance is going to be very easy. This is our experience, I'm telling you. We don't do any magic in real time, okay? So I'm doing spending from a company. Just let us assume one business scenario, a very simple business scenario, okay? A simple business scenario. I'm doing a business. I have the building. Okay, there is no advance. Some assumptions are there. Okay, so just one not building, one office, a simple office, but a condition is no advance. I didn't pay any advance, like what we call it as deposit or something, no advance. Like when you rent in a house, right? So you pay some advance, that is what I'm doing, no advance. Okay. I have furnitures, okay, and all rented. Like we have that renter, right? Paperfreight.com. We can rent even furnitures. Okay, just assume I'm running a business and I have office and I have furnitures and other things and all. I have vehicles all rented. That means for anything, assumption is for any rent item, renting, no advances paid. Okay, just this is one assumption we'll make it. Now let us understand the scenario. I do my business and I do some purchases. I just assume that I'm doing some trading business. So it's a business, is a trading business. So just assume that we are doing some trading means what we buy and sell. Okay. Just there is no stock storing, nothing. Just I buy something and I sell. To run this business, I have these three things. One is office, one is furniture, and all rented. There is no advance paid. That means I use it for month and I spent just whatever the spend. Just assume I am paying 1,000 rupees office bill and 200 rupees furniture rent and vehicle 500 rupees. This is my bill. Okay. Just this is my monthly rent. So what is my business? I every day or every time. So just I buy some products and I sell it immediately. I buy some product and I sell it immediately. That means the trading business is just get this image in your mind. Okay, please get this image in your mind. Trading business, buy items, sell it immediately. There is no stock maintenance. Today, if I buy, just I sell it there itself. Okay. Now I do this business daily and daily. Let me prepare my statement. Just assume I did business. Just an assume did business only for a day. In a month, this month I did only one day I did business. Only I did business for a day in this month. A simple assumption. That's just like one day I did because there was no sales or something, demand or something. Yes, I did. I bought some products and for maybe for 10,000 rupees. For 10,000 rupees items and sold it at 15,000 rupees. So I prepare a P&L account now. So are you getting my business assumption? Please understand. Is it clear to everyone? Right? So the business assumption is okay. Please get this clear my picture in your mind. Okay. So an assumption is for an I'm not paying any advances to rent anything. I'm maintaining these things in my business to run my business, but everything is on rent. There is no advance. I do a trading business. I do a trading business. I don't maintain any stock. When I get an order, I buy it and I sell it. when I get an order from a customer comes to my business and say, okay, I want this item. Yes, okay, I tell you, I will send it to you. I call vendors and I'll buy that and I'll send it directly to him. Just I get this extra money because I am buying at 10,000 rupees and I'm selling it 15,000 rupees. So one assumption is I don't have multiple sales in this month. I have did only one sales in this month. That is only one sale. Let me take it one day. So did business only one sales. Only one sales I have done. That is, I bought one order for 10,000. So 15,000 rupees I quoted. 10,000 rupees the expenses done 15,000. So I prepared my P&L account. I just prepared parallelly this P&L account. So here, how much I expenses I done? Can anyone tell me how much I bought for this month? Purchases is 10,000 and sales 15,000. Is it right? Please interact. Not getting, please tell me. I'll give the picture again. Is it clear? Purchases and someone maybe who are very new to this to me, they may think what is this person is teaching accounting. Okay, but that is the reality. You don't understand. We are in this field from the long time. Even my subordinate is there. Okay, he is already certified in CO as well. Okay, he wanted to learn who subordinate means who reports to me, and he is very close to me, and he wanted to learn costing, and he wanted to learn something that this and all he was said. I asked him to go and just give me the logic behind depreciation. Come back, then I'll teach you other things. And I gave after that I give you some cost of goods. So what is COGS? Tell me. I teach you costing. Then after that he come back and I said what is COGM? And I said what is logic behind these expenses and other things. I asked this question. He said, sir, I'm not getting a clarity. But you're already CO certified, but you're costing, you want to learn. But that means I made him understand, don't try to be SAP man, try to get the logic behind SAP. So then he understood. It took more than 1.5 months to understand these basics. As a consultant, he's already a consultant, remember. So now he is just learning costing and all very easily because he got the clarity behind that process. So that's the reason I'm giving this. So those who are very new, don't think that, okay, like I'm teaching you the account. So you'll understand the importance of this in future classes. You'll understand every class, every minute, even not only in future class, even in entire career of SAP, you remember this. You want this, not remember, you want this. Okay? Don't neglect this. So now we are preparing a P&L account, and the P&L account is, so is it right? 10,000 and 15,000 sales. Am I right?
Yes, right.
Am I right? Everybody? Santosh?
Yes, sir.
Yeah?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes, sir.
sir.
Yeah. Please, you don't unmute. Everybody unmute. You be in unmute. If you have disturbance only, you mute. You be without mute only. Let it be direct conversation. I'm seeing you're all unmutes and other things in other screen, okay? Yeah. Now, I'll add these three things. Office rent, How much? 1,000 rupees for this month. And furniture rent 200 rupees. And vehicle rent 500 rupees. So these are the other expenses which I want to pay. So the total of this is going to be 11,500, total of this 15,000, and then I got the profit of 3,300. So this is the profit. So now the question comes, yes, why I'm preparing? Where is there any assets here? I don't have any assets. I don't have balance sheet itself. Because I don't have any assets at all. Am I right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So in this case, there is no asset because the furnitures which I have, I'm paying rent. For office which I have, it's a paying rent, and vehicle which I have, it's a paying rent. That means I'm spending the things without having assets. Then what is actually assets? That means I rented and paying that one. I rented and paying that. So now just let me take just a scenario. Okay. I feel the rent of office or else rent of furnitures which I have is more. Just assume that I feel okay. Furnitures, why should I pay rent to him? Okay. So let me get my own furnitures to the office. I don't want to pay for it so that I can reduce my expenses. So if I'm planning like that, what I do, just assume I'm going to take a loan from bank to buy furniture of rupees 2,000 rupees. So I take a 2,000 rupees loan from bank and I buy my own furniture. I tell him that okay, the furnitures where the furnitures vendor who is renting that furnitures, I say, no, I don't want any furnitures further. I'm going to own my furnitures. You can take back your furnitures. That means I'm telling him, so I'm taking my own furnitures, buying own furnitures. I don't want to pay rent. So you can take back your furnitures so that I can keep my furnitures. So let me take this as 5,000 or else let it be 2,000. Okay, let me take this as a 5,000. 5,000. That means 5,000 loan I'm taking and this one. So if I'm renting everything just like this, so that my profit is like that. The furnitures, as I said, like this month is gone, I got 3,300, but next month I decided, okay, let me buy my own furnitures and let me don't pay the rent. Okay, that's what. So the next month after doing this, next month, just get this clarity in your mind. So I do the same business again and just assume next month also the same thing is happened. I did only one sales and it's also for 10,000 rupees, but that means 15,000 rupees sales and 10,000 rupees is rent. Sorry, the items cost. I prepare my P&L account now. So the same sales, the same for purchases, and the same office rent, same vehicle. But furnitures, I bought it for 5,000 rupees. Okay. It's not a furnitures. Furnitures purchases, not rent. It's a purchases. If I had 5,000 a year, so then I don't get profit actually. I get loss. Am I correct? Loss of how much? 1,500. Because I spent 5,000 on furnitures. Don't think that. So let me take this. Let me don't take this bank loan. So because it's going to be very clear, more clear. So don't just take out that one point. I'm not taking any bank loan. Just take out that point whichever I said. I'm not taking any bank loan. I'm just buying the assets. Sorry, I'm buying the furnitures. Okay, just I'm buying the furnitures, not from the bank loan. Okay, just directly. Okay, 1 month I got 3,300. Okay, I thought, okay, let me buy this instead of so I got some profit, right? So 3,300. Okay, let me buy my own furniture. Why should I buy rent? Okay, not taking bank loan. Just take out that one thing. Now I did this furnitures 5,000 add. So I did the same sales, but the furniture's expenses has increased, so that I got loss. Am I correct now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Ravi, do you agree with that?
Yes.
That means I'm adding this furniture's expenses, 5,000, whichever I spent it on buying, and that's all. Next month, what's going to happen? That means further next month. Just please, this and all is required. You should have some patience. But next month, assume I did the same sales. But this time, there is no furniture's expenses. I got 3,700. Or 3,500. So that means my 200 rupees is actually it. So now the question comes here. You use these furnitures, and after 1 year, or maybe next month or not in few months, the furnitures has become old, and the furnitures you're going to use it every, like maybe 1 or 2, 3 or 5 years you're going to use it. But for next 5 years, you don't have any expenses related to this furnitures, because furniture's expenses is done. But after 5 years, you have to replace your furnitures because all became old. All became old. Just assume after 5 years, the total profit, like this every month statement, P&L account, total profit of company is around 75,000 rupees, like this 3,500, 3,200, maybe sales may be increased, or one sales you have done, like this, just assume. After 5 years, you have total profit of 75,000 rupees. That 75,000 rupees you have now. So furnitures has become old. Till the time you're renting office and vehicle rents are going on. Only furnitures is your one. Furnitures has become old, and it's unusable condition. Have to replace. Let's assume Yes, this is the condition. This is all normal, right? After some years, you cannot use your mobile. After 4 5 years, you have to replace. So that means furniture has become old now. It's unusable conditions have to replace. Okay. So 1 second. So the furniture has become old and it's unusable conditions. So you have to replace means where you have to go, get the money. Again, you have to take from this 75,000 rupees. Maybe you may have to invest again 5,000 rupees. Am I correct? And maybe your profit will reduce here, right? That means your total profit 75,000 which you earn. So replacing furnitures cost 5,000 need to be less. So then your total profit is 70,000 after 5 years. Do you agree with this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Everybody is clear? Santosh, Ravi?
Yes, yes, Anand.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So that means ultimately, after the difference, let us have some clarity, overall clarity. If you rent and thing is that you don't own your thing, that means what you're going to do, you're going to pay every month. There is no worry of like, okay, you want to replace or something. Once it is old, he has to give some other furnitures. The who is renting that one. But when you own your this one, after some time you have to replace. Maybe so for some years it may not be having any expenses. But after some years, you are going to reduce your profit because you want to replace it, because to run your business again. What if I can make it like this? Instead of reducing at the end when I'm replacing this profit after 5 years. So let me divide this value every month. Maybe for 5 years, 5,000 rupees, 100 rupees per month. So I make it as a furniture's replacement cost. 100 rupees. Furniture replacement cost. So that means every year, just an estimated, like after 5 years, I want to replace. Every month, it's going to reduce your profit. Am I right? Ultimately, you don't need to less. Ultimately, your profit will come to 70,000 only. Correct, na?
Yes, sir.
Everybody understanding what I'm telling?
Yes,
Arshita,
sir.
Kumar,
Yeah.
Santosh, please.
Yes.
That means instead of reducing your at the end of total profit, so keeping a mechanism every month, okay, after 5 years I want to replace. So keeping a mechanism, okay, of like that amount, let me reduce it every month in my profit, so that ultimately whatever the left profit will not reduce after 5 years. That's ultimate profit to me. So that means, so this 100 rupees, okay, I can reduce it. So what is that? Here also I meant 5,000 rupees and here also I did 100 rupees. That means, say, after investing 5,000 rupees, I'm just again, I'm making 100 rupees reduce here. Okay, here also I did. Just this is the important stage. 5,000 rupees you invested from your profit. Again, replacement cost like you are making. Instead, I can keep my own rent only. I don't want to go for this one because I need to invest 5,000. I need to reduce here. But this replacement cost, see this rent, what you are paying here, right? This rent, you are paying out from your cash. That means, so whatever the values, whatever the 200 rupees which you have to pay to the outsiders. This is what we call it as monetary expenses. Monetary expenses means we are paying it to the outsiders. We are, well, we are paying. That means the money will go out. But what you are making here, it is for future you have spent here, but this is for future. So this is not not monetary because you are reducing your profit because for a future investment. This is non-monetary expense. What does it mean? You are not paying outsiders. You are just reducing your profit. That's it. To keep that for future investment, future purchases. I hope you are getting my point.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Anand. Got it.
Sir, 1 second, please. 1 second. So do you agree with that, right? Any questions at this moment? It's an important point. Any questions? So that what is my way, like I'm trying to tell here. See, this when we do this without having any investment, that means, sorry, without having any, that if I'm owning everything for an expense, like I'm this one. So I don't want to worry about my balance sheet. That means if I'm just making to run my business, if I'm keeping everything for an like from outsiders, that I don't want. But when I try to own my thing, it's not only meaning that I can treat this as an expense. The problem is, so 1 month it will give you the loss, another month it will give more profit because there was no rent. So suppose just assume that you got this loss 1,500 and other things and all. So instead of like including this into an expenses, like I don't add this 5,000 rupees here because, however, I'm going to I have invested that means I have spent that. I'm going to recover here. I'm going to spend and I'm going to recover. So what I do, I just take out this. I'm going to take out this. Okay. So then my profit will be normal, but instead of adding to the P&L account, I don't treat that as an expenses because why don't I treat that as an expenses? Because I'm using that furnitures for 5 years. I'm using that furnitures for 5 years. So I divide my expenses like this. That means whichever the things which I'm using for more than a month. Here I'm taking a month. That means in real time it's going to be like in accounting it's so the expenses which you are doing, which are using for more than a year. This is what the Deepa statement, but she was not able to prove it. That's the challenge because the clarity. So the things, the expenses, the spending which are used more than a year. then it will keep then that expense, that means that spending, treated as asset. Why? I don't add it to the P&L account. I don't add it to the P&L account. I treat that, okay, that amount is, that means like I am going to, and that means I treat that in a separate account called balance sheet. Like we call that as a balance sheet. It can be another P&L account also, but we call it as a balance sheet. What I do, I treat it here as furniture, 5,000. Why? I opened a separate account, that's it. Just don't think that, okay, why should the like that this and all. Simple. So instead of adding to the, I treat it, and recovery, depreciate, like what we call it as a furniture's replacement. Replacement, because see, what's going to happen, just assume this. If I don't add this, I get 3,500 profit. 3,500 profit. If I don't add, if I don't add it here, that means if I don't reduce that this one, okay. So what's going to happen every month? I'm going to get profit. It may be at the end 70,000. So finally, I can reduce it here. But if I'm adding every month, if I'm reducing this one, so if I get 3,500 profit, what's going to happen? Just assume this. So if I get 3,500 here, like for the profit different months or something like this. So from that only I have invested here. That means in the balance sheet we treat. This what's going to happen in balance sheet, I tell you. So whenever you get a profit, right? So that will be treated as your in the liability side. That means actually we call it as something profit or return earnings, something we call it. Okay. So when you get a profit, it will be there in your liability. That I'll come to that part later. How we understand this balance sheet in a little bit clear. Just for time being, we just take this profit, we keep it here. 75,000, just assume after like I'm not making any monthly reduction. After 75,000, I invested 5,000, like I want to replace it. What I do, I will reduce the profit 70,000 and I invest on furniture. But what is that here? So now, like if you reduce it every year, every month, like this 100 rupees every month, this one. So ultimately your profit is going to be here, 70,000. So 5,000 furnitures we treat. That's what I said. So the things which you treat as more than 1 year, which you use, the business we uses that spending more than a year, then we treat that as an like assets. So we keep it in asset side, 5,000 rupees every month. So instead of reducing here in the total 75,000, we reduce it like furniture's replacement cost in the furniture's replacement every year. After 5 years, it's going to be 5,000 here. And because of like this 5,000 rupees, that every month it is added here 100 rupees furniture's replacement cost. Okay, so here you can see furniture's replacement cost, non-monetary things, as we don't pay from our bank, furniture's replacement cost 100 rupees. So it's going to be keep adding. After 5 years, your balance sheet looks like this. I tell you what is balance sheet, why we require, that's the second part. But now I'm linking why we treat this. So keeping this as 75,000 and directly reducing is same. 75,000 here I keep, and then finally I reduce like this for replacement, or else I keep that every month This one, because see, why did I add it here? Because I have not added expenses in the middle, because which I'm going to use it for more than a year. So what I am going to do, I keep this in this account. Okay, I invested this much because I'm using more than a year. And every month I reduce whatever it is. It's a non-monetary expenses, which I'm going to keep it here instead of reducing here, instead of adding here. So I reduce here itself 100 rupees. At the final 5 year, it's going to look like this. If I don't reduce this here, it looks 75,000 here. That's it. So now, instead of taking from here, when I'm this one reducing this, sorry, when I want to replace, I just take this amount. I don't take from here. I take this amount. Replace this. I hope you are getting my point, everyone.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Monica, is it clear? Harshita, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Yes,
Anand.
sir.
So don't you think you got a clarity now why we treat asset and why we treat? So I will discuss something deeper about asset, like balance sheet. Why do you call this a like this current assets? Why do you call fixed asset? Why I'm not telling what are called fixed asset, what are called current assets or current liability, whatever the terminologies which we use. I'm not telling what are. I'm telling why we use that idea. What is the purpose behind it? How that's going to be used in real time. This balance sheets analysis, how we are going to do. So when you have these two things, P&L account and balance sheet clarity in your mind, accounting is very easy. And when you have an accounting is very easy, then SAP is very, very easy. That I
Sir,
discussed. Yes.
if we buy an machinery
Hmm.
and from the plant and we
Hmm.
need to fix it out in our building, so the fixation expense is called as an expense.
No, it's going to be added to the asset only because it's an installation charge, right?
Yeah,
Like
installation charge.
when you say that when you buy a mobile, right? Okay, when you buy a mobile and you are having that an insurance,
Okay. Got your point, sir.
insurance with that, it's insurance is also mobile cost. We cannot say insurance is an other cost.
Okay, sir. Okay.
So here spending the same statement, spending which are used less than a year, then it's treated as salary, rent, electricity bill. You cannot pay electricity bill in advance. You cannot pay advances for next 5 years. You cannot pay rent for next 5 years. You pay monthly only. But you have to pay vehicle. You have to office. You cannot buy a building for rent basis. Renting a building is different, and buy a building is different. If you buy a building, you have to invest more, but it's going to be used for long term. But if you rent, you are paying only that amount, whatever is you use that one. So that means instead of like when you like your spending is more than a year, then we treat that as an asset. Less than a year, then it's not assets, treated as an expense. So here, as per the accounting concept, expenses we push it to the P&L account, and assets we push it to the like balance sheet. That I will come that part. Okay, why we create a separate balance sheet and why can't we create a single statement or something like that? If like that is the challenging part. Understanding is a challenging part, but when you understand that, it's an easiest part. Okay, so till here I believe everybody is clear.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Anand. Got it.
Nice. So do you watch this and get more clarity on this first, and we'll continue balance sheet in the next class, or else shall I continue now? Because I'm going to give you some assignments now. Okay, you have to judge which are his expenses, which are assets. Okay, you have to judge those things, and also I'm going to give you some of the maybe basic, okay, but some of the transactions you have to judge which and all is treated. Like the same concept is going to be applied for before this one. Spending is okay. Incoming money, or else we get some money to the business, incoming money. There also there are, we get money to the business, but something we treat as revenue or something we treat as liability. The concept is exactly the same. If the revenues which are, you get it against the something you have given. Example, you are giving some items and you are getting some money against it, or else you are like, tell me, I'm speaking to you, I'm giving service, and you are, what we call it, you are paying for it. That means I'm transferring some benefits to you, and you are making money, you are transferring money to them. But if I get a money from Ravi Kumar, like, okay, I ask Ravi Kumar, give me 1 lakh rupees. Why he has to give? He does not give something, okay, if I ask, okay. So the charges for what I am teaching you, it is some amount. But if I ask you 10 lakh rupees or 1 lakh rupees, maybe 10 rupees, maybe 100 rupees. Ravi, please give me 100 rupees if I ask you like that. Okay. What's going to happen? So you don't give, you ask why, or else I may ask you the money, okay, please give me 100 rupees, I'll give you after 1 month, or else give me 10,000 rupees, I'll give you after 1 month. If I don't pass any benefits, the money which I'm getting from you, it is becomes borrowing.
Liability.
It's a borrowing. It's a borrowing that I'm supposed to give it back. If I'm passing some benefits, if you're giving money, that is, it's in revenue to me. That means I don't want to pay it back because I'm passing some knowledge to you. That's the reason you're paying. That means you have two ways of getting money to the business. One is, we call, by passing some benefits, we get money. For that, we don't need to give it back. But if we are not passing any benefits, if I'm taking that money, I'm supposed to give it back in future. That's the concept. I hope you are clear, everyone.
Yes, sir.
Confident.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Very confident.
That means very simple. When the money spending is done, the two ways why we treat, because depending on the usage. When you're getting money, if you're passing some benefits, that becomes your revenue. If you're not passing some this one, that's can become your liability. That means for the money which the business is getting, if no benefits means maybe items, maybe service, that we discuss in detail later. Service. If no benefits are passed to the person who gives money to business, then it should be given back in future. Revenue. For the money which the business is getting, if no, if some benefits are passed to that person who gives money to business, then it's no need to give it back in future. It will become it treated as revenue. So that means just assume here. If I'm buying some products and I'm doing 15,000 rupees, to buy that product, I'm spending 10,000 rupees. So that means here expenses is means I'm buying product that's immediately is going to be given to other person. So he's going to give the 15,000. To buy that product, I'm making purchases of 10,000 rupees and I'm selling it at 15. That means this is revenue and expenses. If a person is giving money to me and I'm not giving anything to him, that means I cannot add it. Okay, I got okay, Ravi has given, okay, Ravi, 5,000 rupees I can, if I enter. So why he gives money? I'm supposed to reduce it in future. So in future, if I don't have the balance sheet concept, just assume if I don't have the balance sheet concept, this month I may add it. Okay, Ravi has given 5,000, it has come to me. But next month I want to reduce it for 5 months. Okay, Ravi, 5,000, Ravi, balance need to be 5,000 reduced here. So that means this month I may get more profit. Next month I'm going to reduce it. So instead of adding to this one, let us keep this in separate account. Whatever we receive the money, right? So what we do, we keep this in balance sheet account. It's a separate account which we maintain. When the Ravi gives that one, it's a sources of fund. Ravi credited, or else Ravi's borrow from Ravi. Ravi, 5,000. Yes, of course, when 5,000 comes here, my cash also increase. My cash account will increase with 5,000. Because I'm not investing on any furniture or something. I have some cash in my hand. So cash, he has given cash. So that cash I kept in hand. So I had mentioning that in the balance sheet as an asset. It's a cash, which I may use it for next 3 years. Again, you may ask questions. Okay, assets you said, okay, sir. So it's treated, it's used more than 1 year. Yes, I may use this cash for more than 1 year. That's my choice. That discussion we do it later. I try to improve my statements. But this is how we treat the revenue, like money getting to the businesses. Okay. Is it clear to everyone? It's very much important. Very, very much. So don't you think the reason behind why we treat this expenses and assets is clear and borrow, liability and revenue? Is it? I hope it's beneficial too. Like you got some clarity now. Still, we have many things. We have balance sheet and we have that ledger, general ledger. What is general ledger? What is ledger? That's the basic things. I don't discuss anything more than in accounting. Only these things I discuss. One is P&L account and balance sheet. Then GL. What is general ledger? What is ledger? Many people don't have the clarity between these two. And what is debit and what is credit? That means debit, credit, why use it? How we can use it easily. So these things only I discuss. I don't want anything more than this to be a consultant. To be a very good and great consultant, you don't want anything other than this in accounting, in SAP. To understand SAP finance, you have not only SAP, you take any ERP. You should have this clarity. Then those things is easy to understand. Any ERP, you may try a Tally, you may try SAP, you may try Oracle, you may try BAN, you may try NetSuite. Everything is based on these concepts only. Yes. Monica, you have questions?
Sir, what you have said that if I borrow money for 3 years to from the Ravi,
Hmm.
then for 3 years we need to add the cash as in 5,000 and the borrow for Ravi for 5,000. It is a confusion question, sir, to me.
See, it is not spending what is the concept? It's if you spending the things more than a year, it will become asset. If you're spending for like less than like which is used within a year, then it's going to be treated as an expense. That is clear, right?
Okay, so for
Wait,
6 months,
wait.
6 months.
Wait, 6 months or less than 1 year. Okay, that is clear, right? That part.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So, but when it comes to this revenue part, like money you are getting, spending is one thing, and getting money, incoming money. So that concept will not work here. The concept is little bit change. That means you have to get the money if you give something from your business. If you hold something, you are getting. That means I have some items and I'm selling it for more. That is, you get some money from it. So that is something. If you are passing some benefits, that is going to be treated as an if it's something your benefits are getting passed, then we treat that as an revenues. But if you're getting some money, but you are not passing any benefits, benefits means you're not giving any services or you're not giving any items to him, then that money has to be given back. So that money has to be given back from to the Ravi, like maybe within a year, maybe after 1 year also, 2 years also. That's secondary. But we have to give it back. It's not the question of like how many days you keep from your Ravi. You may keep it for an year, you may keep it for a month, you may keep it for 10 years, but you have to give it back in future. This is what the concept, Monica.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
But that we should not take that as an okay, 1 year, more than 1 year for liability. It has to be given back in future. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Nice. That's what is required. If you are not getting something, you have to ask there itself. Is others are clear with this?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
It's very much important.
Clear.
Nice, Ravi. It's very much important. I want everybody, you can watch this video again, but Balraj is going to give you some assignments on this. So maybe basically it may looks like in like 11th, 11th we call in Karnataka, in Bangalore and all we call PUC, but in other states they call 11th or 12th, like it after 10th. Okay, but it may look like that, but I say you, it is the base for SAP building also. I give that these statements I am going to show you. Why did I tell all these things? How SAP build their finance process? I'm going to show you these things only. So many things we have, but you have to get this. You can watch this video again if you are interested, but you have to finish off that assignment which is Balraj is going to give you. It's in a link he is going to give you. You have to give the logic behind why you're telling that it's maybe it's a balance sheet account, or like maybe if I say, so why you're calling that okay, it's a revenue or it's a liability or it's an expenses, or you have to tell that, you have to give that in before the next session. Balraj is going to take you that calls to you directly. He may ask you may connect through Zoom or something else for 5 or 10 15 minutes. He will give some time, like you're going to send that link and you just judge yourself. Once you're ready, you have to connect with him, and he is going to just check it out. How is your understanding? How you are going to judge? Say for example, some expenses, some line is there. Okay, Rohan has given some 100 rupees. So whether you treat it as an liability or revenue, whether you treat it as an asset, you have to judge yourself which one it is belongs to. He is going to just check it out. See, this is what I said. The back end process is going to handle means, so not leaving you just understood or something. He is going to give some assignments and you have to judge and you have to answer the logic with him. You have to make some time for it. You have to make some time. See, think just try this. You will understand before the next class. So how it's going to be benefited to you to understand further topics. Okay. So be serious about it. Further things is going to discuss with you. You will send a link and you'll give the time and you have to prepare yourself. There is no excuse that okay, you are not done, you are not didn't get it. It may be midnight, not a problem. You sleep for less 2 hours. It's that you are all doing for yourself. Okay, but you have to judge it and quickly you have to answer. And depending on that, he'll give the reports to me, and then I'm going to take the next. I'm not going to stop the class for anybody. That okay. I'm going if so only one person is there, I'll take class. But if you miss the class, it's your loss. That means like if you're not prepared for next class, like by not doing these assignments and all, it's going to be lose your interest. Remember that, please. Okay, be serious. This assignments and this following up is going to be done for next 3 months. You have to be thoroughly prepared for your time. Don't take it something okay. Let me check or something. You prepare yourself. If you are really in a like excuse for it's really unavoidable. Maybe family persons are there. I can understand. Unavoidable. That okay. That I can understand. But if you don't cheat yourself, you don't need to prove me that you are doing things. You do it for yourself. Don't cheat yourself. Just give your 3 months. Something is going to, I think, God bless. Something is going to good happen. Okay. So thank you very much. We will meet again next month. So next class, sorry, next Saturday. But next Saturday, I'm going to give the clarity about balance sheet and these things. We have done this P&L account, understand? So once this is clear, other things are going to be very quick. The flow and other things and all, because first time it will take some time. So next time I'm going to take up these parts. Within balance sheet, the lot of fun is there. We'll understand that. Okay. Yeah. Bye-bye. We'll meet again next Saturday. So Saturday's timing, because the Monica has office, and maybe so here and there may be some changes, but I'll discuss with you personally, or Balraj will discuss with you personally about those things. Everybody, okay? Let it not be in the group.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, nice. Bye-bye.
Sure.
Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Arshita. Bye.